Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation. I'm excited to have you here as we explore the fundamental components of chemical safety. The focus will be on ensuring that workers and communities are well informed about hazardous materials in the workplace and the environment. The title of our session is Fundamental Components of Chemical Safety, and we'll be highlighting important topics like safety data sheets and right-to-know laws. Over the next few slides, we'll cover what these elements are, why they matter, and how they help keep everyone safe. So let's get started. This standardized format is a key part of the Globally Harmonized System of Classification and Labeling of Chemicals, or GHS for short. It helps ensure consistency across different countries and manufacturers, providing a universal language when it comes to chemical safety. Essentially, it makes sure everyone is on the same page, no matter where they're working or what chemicals they're handling. The Safety Data Sheet, or SDS, is a crucial document that follows this standardized format. It includes 16 specific sections and is required whenever a hazardous chemical is used at a facility. The SDS gives detailed information about the chemical's properties, the hazards it poses, and the safe handling procedures. Understanding the SDS is vital because it's your primary source of safety information for chemicals. It helps you recognize risks and take appropriate precautions to stay safe. By following this standardized format, we can better communicate and manage chemical safety across all workplaces, which is a core part of our overall safety culture. Let's take a closer look at the key elements of the Safety Data Sheet, or SDS, for hazard communication. First, we have the precautionary statements, which provide clear instructions on how to handle, store, and respond in emergency situations safely. These are essential for minimizing risks and ensuring everyone knows what to do in case of an incident. Next, we see the standardized diamond-shaped symbols, or pictograms. These visual cues quickly communicate specific hazards like flammability, corrosion, or health risks, making it easier to recognize dangers at a glance. Moving on, hazard statements contain detailed information about the health risks associated with exposure to the chemical. These statements help us understand the severity of the hazards and guide us in taking appropriate precautions. Then there's the signal word, which can be either danger or warning. This word indicates the level of hazard severity: danger for more severe hazards, and warning for less severe ones, giving us an immediate sense of the risk involved. Finally, the product identifier includes the chemical name and UN number. This information ensures precise identification and tracking of the chemical, which is critical for safety and regulatory compliance. Together, these elements form the core of hazard communication, helping us handle chemicals safely and respond effectively in case of emergencies. Understanding these key points is vital for maintaining safety in any environment where chemicals are used. Let's start by talking about the importance of clear and complete labeling. First, the manufacturer's information must include the full name, address, and phone number. This ensures that if there's ever a question or emergency, you know exactly who to contact. Next, we look at the hazard pictograms. These are visual symbols that quickly communicate the type of hazard posed by the chemical. It's crucial that all applicable pictograms are displayed prominently on the label, so there's no mistaking the risks involved. Moving on to the signal word, this indicates the severity of the hazard. Words like danger or warning help prioritize safety responses. Then, we have the product identifier, which is simply the complete chemical name. This should be clearly displayed to avoid any confusion about what's inside the container. Finally, I want to emphasize that all labels on hazardous chemical containers, including secondary containers filled from bulk sources, must be compliant with the GHS system. This consistency in labeling across facilities and industries helps ensure everyone understands the hazards and handles chemicals safely. Remember, clear and compliant labeling is a cornerstone of effective hazard communication and overall safety. These regulations play a crucial role in making sure that both workers and the community are fully aware of any potential chemical hazards they might encounter. This creates a sense of transparency and accountability, when it comes to how chemicals are managed and handled. One of the key legal frameworks that supports this is the Right to Know laws, which are codified in the United States through the Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know Act, or EPCRA. EPCRA is actually part of Title III of the Superfund Amendments and Reauthorization Act, commonly known as SARA. These laws are designed to ensure that information about chemical hazards is accessible, so everyone can stay informed and safe. This legal framework is essential to fostering a safer, more transparent environment in workplaces and communities alike, tying into the overall theme of responsible chemical management. Let's talk about proper labeling first. It's crucial that all chemical containers are correctly labeled according to GHS standards. This helps ensure everyone knows exactly what they're handling and can take the necessary precautions. Proper labeling isn't just a formality, it's a key safety measure. Next, we need to focus on training. Employees should be thoroughly trained on chemical hazards, how to handle chemicals safely, and where to find safety data sheets, or SDSs. Understanding the labeling systems is also essential so that everyone can quickly identify risks and respond appropriately. Employers have a responsibility to provide SDSs for all hazardous chemicals used in the workplace. These SDSs contain vital information about the chemical's hazards, handling procedures, and emergency measures. Having easy access to these documents is fundamental for safety. This approach is supported by OSHA's Hazard Communications Standard, which is all about ensuring workers are informed. OSHA gives workers the right to know about potential chemical hazards they might encounter. It's a core part of protecting worker health and safety. So, in essence, ensuring proper labeling, providing comprehensive training, and giving access to SDSs are all interconnected. They form the foundation of a safe and compliant workplace, empowering workers to stay informed and protected at all times. Now, let's talk about the reporting requirements for accidental releases of hazardous chemicals. The law mandates that if there's an accidental release and the amount exceeds a specific reportable quantity for that chemical, it must be reported. This is crucial for ensuring timely awareness and response to potential hazards. Moving on, facilities that surpass the EHS threshold are often required to engage in emergency response planning with local agencies. This collaborative approach helps ensure that everyone is prepared to act quickly and effectively during an incident, minimizing risks to workers and the community. Regarding thresholds, most hazardous chemicals have a reporting limit of 4,540 kilograms, or about 10,000 pounds. However, extremely hazardous substances, like chlorine, have a lower threshold, often around 45 kilograms or 100 pounds, because their potential impact is much greater even in smaller quantities. This brings us to threshold reporting. Under EPCRA, facilities that store hazardous materials above these specified quantities must report their inventories to state and local emergency planning agencies, as well as fire departments. The goal here is to promote community right to know, ensuring that local communities are informed and prepared for possible emergencies. All these points tie back to our overall theme of safety and preparedness. By understanding and complying with these reporting requirements, we help protect both the environment and public health. Now, let's take a look at the standardized sections that appear in every safety data sheet, or SDS, document. These sections ensure consistency and clarity across all safety information. For example, when it comes to extremely hazardous substances like chlorine, the threshold is set at 16 pounds, which is roughly 45 kilograms. This helps us quickly identify when a substance becomes a concern. For substances that are hazardous enough to require community reporting, the threshold is much higher, around 100 pounds, or about 4,540 kilograms. This means that if you're handling or storing more than that amount, there's a legal obligation to report it to the community. And then we have the critical reporting threshold, which is set at 10,000 pounds. This is a significant quantity, indicating a high level of risk and the need for stringent safety measures and reporting. Understanding these thresholds is key to managing hazardous materials responsibly and ensuring safety at every level. They tie into the overall theme of safety compliance and risk management that runs throughout this presentation. Building public trust through transparency is fundamental to our work at water resource recovery facilities. When we openly share information about how we handle chemicals and safety procedures, it fosters confidence within the community and among our employees. Maintaining regulatory compliance and avoiding penalties is not just about following rules. It's about ensuring that our operations are safe and responsible. This compliance also enables us to coordinate emergency responses more effectively, should any incident occur. It's crucial that the community stays informed about what chemicals are stored on site, especially since many facilities handle hazardous substances like chlorine for disinfection, treatment chemicals, and potentially dangerous byproducts. Protecting worker health and safety during daily operations is a top priority, and strict adherence to regulations helps us do that. When we follow safety data sheet requirements and uphold the right-to-know principles, we significantly reduce the risk of chemical incidents. Ultimately, by doing so, we not only safeguard our personnel, but also maintain public safety and trust. All these efforts are interconnected and vital to our mission of protecting both the environment and the community we serve. GHS creates a consistent way to communicate chemical hazards across the globe. This means that no matter where you are, the information about chemical risks is clear and standardized, helping everyone understand the dangers. When we look at global standards like EPCRA, they play a crucial role in providing transparency about chemical incidents. This transparency enables communities and emergency responders to plan effectively and respond quickly in case of accidents or spills. In terms of community safety, OSHA's Hazard Communication Standard, or HCS, makes sure that employees are not left in the dark. They are informed, trained, and protected from potential chemical hazards in their workplace. This leads us to worker protection, which is at the heart of all these efforts. Safety data sheets and right-to-know laws form a comprehensive framework, giving workers the vital information they need to stay safe. And, importantly, they help communities prepare for emergencies by ensuring everyone is aware of the hazards and knows how to respond. Ultimately, all these measures work together to protect people through information. By sharing consistent, transparent, and accessible chemical hazard information, we're safeguarding not just individual workers, but entire communities. That's the core purpose of these standards, to keep people safe through the power of knowledge.